This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
Eddie says he tells by the way, we should mention that, on his first night in here, you specifically told Eddie Guerrero, do your frog splash, but severely dislocate your elbow if you can. So he does exactly what you told him to. And then when he comes out of the ring, injured beyond belief, he's not going to be able to wrestle for 3 or 4 weeks, but you ask him to come back to work personally and work. And of course you've disputed that, but that's what Eddie wrote in his book. So I'll let you take it from there.
That I made him work hurt?
Yes.
Is this what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
After returning from that injury, Eddie reveals a crush he had on Chyna, and that leads to our April 3rd, 2000 WrestleMania event. He's doing everything in his power to prove that she could not resist his Latino heat. And Eddie came up with this Latino heat from the movie Birdcage with Robin Williams, which, references Guatemalanness, if that's even a word, and heat. And Eddie says he just changes it to Latino heat and uses it in a promo. It gets a big reaction. So the office decides to run with it. I'm fascinated by that. That Latino heat wasn't from a writer's room. It was just him saying, hey, what if? And it got over huge, right? Latino heat.
It was over huge.
Do you think this is when Vince McMahon really gets sold on Eddie Guerrero? You've told us before, you know, that you thought AJ Styles, when he was in TNA, was a fine performer and he could do some spectacular stuff. And how could you not be entertained with his athleticism, et cetera, et cetera. But as silly as it was, the silly whole Claire Lynch pregnancy thing showed that he could do quote unquote acting. He could tell stories. And that was probably something that is very important to Vince McMahon, telling stories for WWE programming. Well, this whole Eddie Guerrero Chyna thing, whereas some guys in the era looked at, oh, I got to work with Chyna. I don't want to work with Chyna for whatever reason. Eddie used it in a major advantage. The Latino heat thing gets over. Audiences fall in love with him. This to me feels like when Vince realizes, wait a minute, he's more than just a wrestler. This is a superstar.
Yeah. In life, you're afforded, many opportunities, many chances, and you have to make decisions. So you can be handed something that some people might feel is the death knell, and you're, oh, this is horrible and all this other shit. And then there are people that take the exact same opportunity and look at it like, okay, I'm going to go out and steal the show. I'm not going to let them deny me. And they'll have to pay attention after my performance. And that's exactly what Eddie and Chyna did, is they went out and said, okay, if this is being viewed in one way, then I'm going to show them that I will steal the show every night. And that is exactly what Eddie Guerrero did. Wasn't denied, would not be denied, and had people talking about him, in a performance that wasn't the main attraction, program and story on the show. It was the main, but yet you wouldn't know that by his performance.
Right. And let's put in context what you're saying here. Eddie Guerrero, who we know to be one of the best wrestlers that ever lived, his first WrestleMania is a 6-man tag where Chyna pins him. And to a lot of guys, I'm sure that would feel like the kiss of death. But Eddie is so into this Latino heat character. He loves the skits. He loves the entertainment side. He gets heat from it. This actually works. It's pretty remarkable when you can,
but wait a minute. How could it possibly work if he lost?
Oh my God, Bruce, why are you being like this?
Why am I being like this? I'm just using your, I'm not using your own words.
I feel like we're saying the same things here. You've taught us a long time ago that in WWE, you get over by losing. You don't have to go over to get over. I mean, these are your words, and to argue my point, but in fact, you just validated it. You pointed out that Flair lost way more than he won. And I jokingly said he won at least 16 times. And you again doubled down on my own argument. Yeah. 16 times in 75 years. You don't have to go over to get over. And this Latino heat thing proved that. All right, let's just move along. Gosh, we're going to talk about wins and losses all day. On the April 4th episode of Raw, Eddie captures the European Championship from Chris Jericho after Chyna turns on Y2J and reveals that she could not, in fact, resist Eddie Guerrero's Latino heat. So the two polar opposite characters come together and make for some very memorable moments. This is a time when I think WWE TV is probably at its peak as far as the creative storytelling involved.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Prior to the backstage, or the Backlash pay-per-view rather, Guerrero was studying to take his GED with the assistance of Chyna, all while defending his European title. And at the event, he and Chyna returned from the prom just in time for Eddie to wrestle S.A. Rios in a major title bout. Guerrero defeats Rios after arriving ringside in a 1957 Chevrolet, even wrestling in his tuxedo pants and a bow tie. And after that, Guerrero, who was getting babyface reactions, is now officially a face. It's pretty remarkable that this Latino heat character got over as much as it did. What can you tell us about, how you guys sort of paid this off with him in Chyna and the way you started to introduce him driving cars to the ring? I think this is the first time we saw it happen. Of course, he's going to do it much later as well. It feels like you're sort of hitting your stride with your Eddie Guerrero character.
Eddie couldn't be denied. The audience was loving everything that he did. You add to that the natural charisma and connection that Chyna and Eddie had, and people were into it. So it made sense, and they couldn't get enough of it. It wasn't, we didn't turn Eddie Guerrero in any way, shape, or form. The audience did.
Yeah. Eddie successfully retains the title against the Radicals' former stablemates, both Saturn and Malenko, in a triple threat at Judgment Day. And he keeps it until Fully Loaded in July, and he drops it to Perry Saturn. But the on-screen relationship with Chyna goes well into the summer, and the popularity continues to build. But eventually, Chyna's upset when Eddie pins her to advance in the King of the Ring tournament, which is kind of good storytelling. And then at SummerSlam that August, Guerrero and Chyna wrestle a mixed tag match against Trish Stratus and Val Venus, who at the time was the Intercontinental Champion. The IC title here is on the line in the match, and whoever scores the pin would become the champion. Guerrero's team wins the match, but Chyna scored the pin. So now Chyna is a 2-time Intercontinental Champion. And of course, Eddie doesn't mind that his partner is champion, but fans suspect otherwise when he tries to protest too much. The September 4th Raw is War is when he goes to the Commissioner Mick Foley and asked to be inserted into Chyna's title defense against Kurt Angle, claiming he didn't want Kurt to hurt his Mamacita. But during the course of the match, Angle knocks down Chyna with the title belt, and Guerrero lays on top of her to try to revive her. But of course, this results in Guerrero accidentally pinning Chyna as her shoulders are still on the mat. And now Guerrero has won his first Intercontinental Championship. He spends weeks trying to get her to believe that he didn't intentionally take the title from her. Bruce, this is just good stuff. What can you tell us about this storyline? The idea that he has inserted himself into the match and now accidentally pins her and accidentally takes her title. This is great stuff.
He was just going down to check on her, make sure she was okay, and let her know that he loved her, and kind of gave her a hug and just wanted to be affectionate. And the referee, being an asshole referee, went in and counted the fall, and next thing you knew, history was made.
Well, and
that's good shit.
And we start to sort of plant the seeds here a little bit, because Eddie's going to start to cheat to retain this title. And you see Chyna's not upset. She's not happy with that. She's upset that he's cheating to retain it. But one of the really fun moments from this era is Eddie is upset that Chyna is posing for Playboy magazine, because he's even trying to invade the Playboy mansion to stop the photo shoot. A hilarious skit here. Is this something that you would have shot?
It is, yes. I did the Playboy Mansion stuff, and then also when we were in Chicago, we did the Playboy headquarters in Chicago and went to their offices and had Eddie carried out there. It was just so easy and so good that people didn't want it to end. It was entertaining as hell. A jealous Eddie Guerrero that trying to live with the fact that the entire world was going to see his mamacita. Like, man, she got no clothes. What happened to your clothes? And it was just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Just when it appeared that Chyna is going to leave Eddie, he proposes to her and she accepts. At Unforgiven, Chyna even helps him retain his title against Rikishi, but ultimately their engagement is called off when GTV, I believe, had some footage of Eddie in the shower with two of the Godfather's hoes, one of which was Victoria. And I think on the video, you hear him claim that 2 mamacitas are better than 1. So the engagement is broken off.
Hey man, I just needed to get my back watched. Well, I was watching my front.
But there were 2 of them.
Makes sense to me.
But there were 2 of them.
I know. One's doing the back, one's doing the front.
Okay.
I expect him to wash himself, do you?
So, this Chyna thing was working. Is it just time? What were you ready to do more single stuff? Was she done with the storyline, or did creative just feel like, okay, it's ran its course?
Well, it's kind of a combination of both. You want Chyna to go on her own with the Playboy stuff, and Eddie, in many respects, was stealing the show there.
Yeah.
So it was time to move on with Eddie as well.
So of course
they didn't need each other anymore.
Guerrero has now turned heel as a result of the incident because, I guess cheating on your fiance, that's a heel move. The Radicals reform and feud with that's debatable. I think, say different.
He was just getting clean for her.
Yes, that's true. He was trying to be considerate.
Right.
So the Radicals are reforming here. They're going to feud with a reunited DX, which is Chyna, Billy Gunn, Road Dogg, and of course, who could forget K-Quick. They defeated DX at Survivor.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
They actually defeated DX at Survivor Series in an elimination tag match and assisted Triple H in his match with Stone Cold Steve Austin. Guerrero is later defeated by Billy Gunn for the Intercontinental title on the Thanksgiving Day episode of SmackDown. And at Rebellion, Guerrero and Malenko lose to Gunn and Chyna, and then Benoit leaves the group to focus more on a singles career. The rest of the Radicals are going to feud with Lita and the Hardy Boys. And at Armageddon, the Radicals defeat the Hardy Boys in an elimination tag match. But in early 2001, Guerrero starts to feud with Chris Jericho, Benoit, and X-Pac, all over Jericho's IC championship. At No Way Out, there's a fatal 4-way that Jericho wins, and then he focuses on the European title afterwards, feuding with the champion Test and actually defeating him at WrestleMania X7 to win his 2nd European championship with a little help from his pals, Saturn and Malenko. So the first WrestleMania for Eddie Guerrero, he loses to Chyna in a 6-man. The second one, he's getting a win over Test, a much bigger man, for the European championship. Things are looking up for Mr. Guerrero.
Yeah, I still can't get over. It sounds like a 1959 black and white movie in the day. Armageddon, the Radicals defeated Hardy Boys and Lita in an elimination tag. I don't know why I wanted to do that, but it just kind of felt good to me.
In April,
Radical.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.